The bar smelled like stale beer and sweat. Casey Woods shifted in her seat, which was situated far away from the social hub of the place. She rolled her glass between her palms. It was filled with whatever was on tap that the waiter had brought her. Taking a sip, she looked nervous but wistful among the slew of college kids milling around the East Village hangout. She was one of those kids, or trying to be. She was a wannabe, a shy and naive misfit on the outside, looking in, hungry to be welcomed into the inner circle. She reached around and fiddled with a strand of her long red hair, which was tied back, giving her a more youthful appearance. Her gaze darted around, flickering every so often over her target. He was in his early 30s, perched on the first bar stool. Whenever she glanced his way, he was usually staring at her. The time ticked by slowly. Casey made sure to openly, if shyly, eye the hunkiest-looking guys, changing her demeanor from hopeful to unsure to dejected. Every guy she focused on eventually left, either with a group of friends or with a girl he'd hooked up with. At just past 3:30 in the morning, the bartender started closing up and the bar emptied out. With just a few stragglers left, Casey's hopes for the night were ostensibly dashed. Her lashes lowered in an expression of utter defeat. Slowly, she rose, reaching for her messenger bag for some cash. As she'd planned, the bag slid off her shoulder and plopped on the floor, contents spilling everywhere. Flushed with embarrassment, she squatted down and began stuffing things back into her bag, her wallet, makeup, and fake student ID. From her peripheral vision, she saw the man at the end of the bar rise, toss some bills on the counter, and walk out with the last few stragglers. It was 4 a.m., closing time. Despite the pointed glare of the bartender, Casey took her time replacing the contents of her bag, rearranging them as she did. She kept her wallet out long enough to slap some bills on the table. Then she made her way to the door. The bartender locked it behind her. Casey sucked in her breath and turned, making sure to follow the same route she'd been taking all week. She'd set the pattern, but tonight she'd stayed at the bar later. The streets were emptier. The timing was right. She steeled herself as she walked past the alley near Tompkins Square Park. She kept her gaze fixed straight ahead. She heard Fisher's footsteps an instant before he grabbed her. His arm clamped around her waist, his free hand pressing a knife to her throat. Too hard, too fast, no taunting. This was not how she'd planned it. And now he had her. Don't fight. Don't scream. Don't even breathe, or I'll slit your throat.